So listen, man. We're gonna get into our topic. I think it's a great topic, man, because I don't know. I've always wondered this. I always wondered, whenever you propose to somebody, is it automatically over? Like, is it just, let's just paint the scene, right? You got, the man went out, he wouldn't invited the family. He got he went, actually it's summertime or springtime. He went to the park. You know what I'm saying? He got the family there. He, everybody got the balloons, got the kids. They might have some kids out of, got the kids with him. And he proposes.
Out of wedlock.
Right.
Out of wedlock.
That's
cold.
And, he proposes. He's like, will you marry me? She turns around and says, no, I don't want to marry you. But we're going to go home. We can talk about this at home. I cook some food. We just kick it. And we can talk about, how I feel about you, proposing to me, at this stage in relationship. But I don't really want to marry you right now.
That's funny. It's funny that you mentioned that because when I proposed to my wife at the actual proposal, she didn't say yes. She didn't say no. All she did was just hug me. And then because where I proposed to her at, I took her back to our elementary school and I proposed to her on the in the front of it where they had the benches and everything. And
so sweet.
Yeah. But I ain't gonna tell you the story leading up to that because that was there's a whole nother story.
I know that's right.
But I had set it up to where I made a proposal to her, had candles and everything down there, and I wore a shirt that says, "Will you marry me?" She got to keep the shirt and everything. But yeah, when I did it, she just hugged me, and then I automatically assumed that it was a yes. So we got back in the car. She said, "Oh wait, I didn't say yes or yes or no yet." I said, "Well, what did you choose?" She said, "It's yes."
Hey,
I would think so.
You sound like it too when you said that.
That's crazy.
Hey, with my proposal, let me tell you. So, I flew. Well, her father flew down here because I asked him. He's like, "No, not my baby, no." So, but he was like, "Yeah, I'll be down there." So he came. I went to this place called what's the name of this restaurant? Dang, what's the name of the restaurant? I forget.
I need you to know that.
I don't know it, but it's slipping my mind.
Yeah, very vital.
It's not that serious, but anyway. So we get there at the restaurant, and I propose. Asked it. So her father is somewhere in the restaurant, racking up a lot of money, about $80 in food. I'm just saying, and so he had I think I gave him the ring, and he gave it to the waitress, and they brought it over, and she opened up the thing, and the ring was in there, right? So I opened it up, and I told no, I'm sorry, her father brought the ring over, so he acted like he was a waitress, the waiter, and he came over and brought the ring over. So I got him on, asked, "Will you marry me?" And first of all, she started crying because she ain't seen her father in like 3 years at that time, right? So I said, "Hey, will you marry me?" And she's crying. I was like, "Listen, is it yes or no? I needed some clarity on this right now." You know what I'm saying? Because you ain't saying nothing. Like I need a yes or no. Because she's sitting there crying. I'm like, everybody in the restaurant's like, "Oh," and I'm like, "Listen, she ain't said yes yet. I need an answer." So she eventually said yes, but that I was like, "Listen, she better not say no. She better say no later." Shoot.
But I had one question, man. Did you have the locks on at the time? Did you have the locks?
No. This 2010. I thought my locks were like 2006.
I can't even imagine you with dreads. That's hilarious.
I'll get a picture for you.
Yeah.
Kenneth was there from almost the beginning of those locks. He was there for almost the beginning.
He was serious about them things, man.
Yeah, but nah, 2010, 2006, I cut him off. But yeah, it was. But listen, I thought she was going to say. I'm like, I thought she was going to say no. I'm just saying. But I'm just saying, if a person says no, what do y'all think? Is it a wrap? Or are we just, you know what I'm saying?
Well, I think you gotta really consider. You gotta really ask the question. You gotta really ask the question, like, if it's a no, then what are we doing?
But why would you even, like? I don't feel like, me personally, I wouldn't want my significant other to propose to me unless we've had the conversation about marriage. Because in my mind, if you propose and I say no, then that means we obviously have not had the conversation, and you don't know that I don't feel like we're ready for marriage. Okay. However, on the other side of that, if I say no, I don't feel like it should be over. Like, I feel like you should want to know why. Because what if I feel like the reason why is no is because you are irresponsible with the way you spend money? Or if I feel like, it's something that I have an issue that we could work on. Like, it shouldn't just be like, oh, it's no. But also you have to think about it. Just because you get married to just because you propose and get engaged with someone, it doesn't mean that y'all have to get engaged. It doesn't mean y'all have to get married the next day.
Exactly.
Like, y'all could spend that time in between the engagement and the wedding. Because I could be wrong. Married people, let me know. But, like, should that not be the point in time where y'all are working on the blueprint and foundation of making it for a successful marriage?
You mean like you're asking like in the stage of being engaged?
Engaged and the wedding. Like, okay, so we know that we love each other and this person I want to spend the rest of my life with. I can't live without this person. We've been dating for this period of time. I know you're good, you're bad, you're indifferent, and I still love you regardless. Now we're engaged. We need to be between the engagement and the wedding, we need to be going to therapy. We need to be going therapy and counseling, church and outside of, and we need to be setting up the blueprint and talking things out as to, the marriage and stuff like that. Or wait, no, that may be stuff that you discussed before you get engaged, right? Like what type of marriage you would want, right?
Yeah, I think that it's a few things. I know before you get married, you definitely, like in that dating stage, you definitely need to know exactly what the mindset of the person is, in terms of like marriage. You need to know, like, okay, well, do they really want to get married? When do they want to get married? So that way I know, when to buy the ring and stuff like that. But yeah, to answer your question, you should know. Dating is the time frame where you're asking those questions, maybe around the third, between three. Because, well, me personally, some people want to be married at the third. I don't know, but between the third 3 to 5 years, by then you should really know exactly like how's this going to go. Mm-hmm. And then during that process, though, you should know whether or not you're going to marry that person. Then in the engagement part is probably more about counseling. Mm-hmm. Because if it's between 3 to 5 years, you still don't know this person, you might as well call that a wrap. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't make any sense to even try to propose, especially if you don't know them like that. I think that it starts during the dating, courting. It looks like I got a little unstable. Mm-hmm. Y'all can hear me? No?
We hear you.
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay. So courting.
Yeah.
Courting is the time frame when you start to get, to prepare for the marriage. And then engagement will be like really making sure everything is solid. Then you get married. That's how I see
it. Excuse me. Throat.
You got a frog in the chat? I mean, you got something to say?
No, I'm just going back to the point of the engagement. So your scenario was like, and this is just maybe I'm a jerk, maybe it'll come out the right way, maybe it'll come out like I intended to be said. But if they went through so much hell to make sure that it was like a huge, like a really good thing for you, like your family is there, maybe I'm wrong, but to save that person that embarrassment, I would say yes there. And then later on talk about like, I can't believe you blind. I mean, I just don't know how to. I wouldn't feel comfortable letting somebody down. They put all of that emphasis. If we were alone, and I didn't feel like I wanted to be married, like I just don't understand the point of dating if you don't intend to get married, or what's the point of like, I don't want no quick sham of a wedding. That's always been my problem.
I think it's but it's just because, but no doesn't have to mean no, I don't want to marry you. It could also mean no, not right now. But I feel like some people take the no as like, no, I don't ever want to marry you.
Finality.
Like, yeah, like this. I saw a proposal online, and like the dude went all out. Like they were by the water. He had like the heart in the shape of like flowers, a red carpet, runway, candles, roses down there, and like he got on one knee and proposed, and like all their friends and family was like recording, and she was like, "I'm sorry." She was like, "But I can't. Like, I'm sorry, I can't." And they broke. And he was just like, "What do you mean?" Like he was shocked. He was like, "What do you mean?" And she was just like, I can't. I'm sorry." And he was just like, he walked away. So it looked like she was like, "I can't marry you," but it looked like she wanted to talk more about it. But he just was so upset and in his feelings that he just was like, "What do you mean?" And went off on a whole tangent. And I mean, that's where the video ended. But
I mean, let's not downplay the feelings or the sensitivity of a man, the pride, the ego that we talked about earlier.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I just can't see. Well, first of all, like Jay said, if we are at this stage where you're proposing to me, we've already should have had this conversation. Exactly. There should be like no decisions made on my behalf. Say, oh, well, I want to marry you, but we haven't talked about marriage. But I'm sure you want to marry me too. Like the feeling, like that is a conversation, because we're not only talking about how you spend money, we're not talking about how you pay your bills.
Yep.
I mean, it's so much that's factored in how you talk to children, how you treat your mama. Like, do you have consistent work? Are you controlling? Like, are you abusive? That takes longer than some 6 months for some people.
Well, let me ask you this question then, though. So let's just say in this scenario, it's more. So let's say in this scenario, they have talked about it and they've had the conversation. Everything's lining up to the part where, the time frame where he can propose, right? Or she. Some of y'all acting real weird these days. I'm just saying. Some of y'all.
Ain't no way in the world.
Yeah, ain't no way. I wish I would get on my man and ask some man, will you marry me? What? Ain't no way in hell. I'm sorry.
Y'all some weirdos out there. I'm just saying. That's just,
I'm not getting on that.
Every time I see somebody do that, I just be looking at the video just like this.
You've never seen it?
I've never seen it.
It's out there. Every video, I'm just sitting there looking like, now what is so good about this man that you feel like you gotta get down on your ashy knee and propose to this man?
Hey, it's one of those videos you need glasses.
So proud.
Yes,
like, you need glasses. Like,
put your head down.
Do you know when Chrissy had proposed to Jimmy on Love and Hip Hop? Like, I loved them. But when I saw that, I was just like, this just looks so wrong. And the fact that he sat there in the chair and was like,
yeah.
You know he's from Harlem, so they don't really. He just,
I did. And it's like I felt like.
Hold on, that's not even to add insult to injury. She went through all of this, proposed to him. They ended up not getting married. She went to Miami with her girls. She living it up because she need time. And he come and like he didn't even really like propose to her. Like he just was like,
you know what it is,
right? He was like,
you know what it is.
So you say you want to get married?
Not ruin that for me.
I'm gonna let my hand fall off.
What made it even worse is she cried because she thought it was so. She was like,
Okay, 8 years later. Okay, let's be real.
They're still not married.
They still ain't married for real?
No, but they wear the ring.
This man has drugged her through the mud. Okay. Wow. Drug her through the mud. Then she proposed to him. Well, I guess he ain't gonna propose to me, so. Like, you look so stupid. Put your hand down. Put your hand down. Get up. I would never let my friend, like, no.
I would not support that. I would not. So let me tell you something. I could not support that. Like, and she didn't get on her knee, but I have seen women get on their knee, one knee, and propose.
Will you? If you don't put your hand down,
I couldn't let a woman propose. I could not let a woman propose to me. It would feel so wrong. It would feel so wrong.
Yeah, you put the ring on me.
Yeah,
it's like the meaning.
Did the rose just?
It's
yes,
like
it is the meaning. It is the meaning. Like, did the rose just switch her? Like, aren't I supposed to do that?
And then his homeboy's looking at him like, so what kind of dress she's gonna be wearing?
I'm just gonna go ahead and give this disclaimer for what I'm about to say. I hope there are no children listening. But if your woman proposes to you and gets on one knee and put a ring on your finger, she just bitched you. And she just made you feel like you're not man enough to step up to the plate and handle your responsibility. Like, there's no way that you should be okay with a woman getting down on one knee and putting a ring on your finger and you like, oh yeah, of course, honey. Like, you should say no because she did.
Yeah, and she gonna be getting him pregnant next. She gonna be pregnant.
Exactly.
Hey, can you imagine though a man holding his hand out like?
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
They do.
Yeah.
But wait a minute.
No, it be like that.
But you and Jazz, go back. How was Jim looking in the chair?
Oh, when he proposed to her?
When she proposed to him?
Oh, when she proposed, he was like,
yeah.
And I was looking at the camera like this. You dummy. That mole is smarter than you. That mole on your face is smarter than you.
And then, like, she's justifying it in the confessional, like, we've been together for so many years.
He had the hair like this, though. Yes. You know the stance?
We've been together, like, realize who you're talking to.
Yeah.
Realize who I am. I'm making happy.
Basically, he probably said in his confessional, I had to do it. She was gonna be talking all that all night long. I had to. You know what I'm saying?
No. Jim was like, oh
man, yo.
And this is me the whole time.
Like, you know, he don't say no words, so he in the confession like, she knew, you know what it was. She a good one. She been with me since the beginning. Like, I know.
Shout out to Jim Jones. Listen, Jim, I want no problem. I'm just saying.
Hey. No beef with neither one of them. No beef.
Chrissy got the hands
too. Hold your hand out.
Chrissy got the hands too.
I don't want to play. I don't play. We just
she definitely got them hands.
Chrissy definitely got them hands.
Like it was a whole party. They had a whole party. He was sitting on a throne. This wasn't a birthday party. It wasn't a baby shower.
Hold on, Jazz. How was he on the throne though?
He was like, and she's crying.
Like he just didn't want to piss her off, so he was like,
oh man.
He was crying like, oh, I love you, Jimmy. I was just like, what I could not.
And the whole time I'm sitting there looking like that. I couldn't change it because I just wanted to.
Because you had to see, and then what happened? Mama Jones got up and she was pissed off.
I just really like, you know.
You don't propose to my son without letting me know. Like, I was.
Oh boy.
The whole scene was like an accident.
It was just like I hope this is staged. I hope
you were
this is staged.
I was like, Mona,
there's nowhere in the head. There is no. Listen, if a man tell me I believe you're gonna propose, baby, where's the bag?
Let me pack it up.
Let's pack that thing.
I'm even gonna give you a bag.
I will send you with a sack lunch. Okay, get on up out of here.
He was sitting up there like, yeah, I knew she was gonna propose. I was like,
oh man.
Say I got too much pride or whatever.
Yeah,
I don't care what you say about me. We'll never be married. Never.
I could not.
Over.
I'm gonna go ahead and find that episode.
I forgot what I was saying.
Because you said the roles was reversed.
If the roles were reversed.
Nah, all right. So listen. So let's say that maybe at this time she made up in her mind. Let's say she wasn't in the that she didn't have the right job, or maybe her life wasn't right. Maybe she never really kind of brought this up to him, right? She just kind of thinking about these things in her head. And then when he proposes, in her mind, she's like, "Well, hey, I'm not really in the right place in my life. Like, I don't know if we should get married, right? You think she's right on that? Like, you think that it's okay for her just to say no, or to say, hey, you know what? Yes, but later."
Yes, there you go. You say yes.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking
you say
too.
We need to have a long engagement.
There's so many different levels to this though, because there's so many different reasons behind why somebody would say no. So it's like so many good reasons. Like you had a plan. That's one thing that I think that people forget. Like you can literally have a plan. Things might not go the way that you want them to go, but maybe, I'm in college. I want to have my career first. I want to be able to take care of you. I want to be able to share with you. Or I, just feel like I'm not in a position right now to be monogamous. I mean, there's so many things that if you're not in a position to be monogamous,
we need to
don't
just
worry about
break
marriage.
up. If you can't be monogamous, we need to just break up.
Exactly.
Period.
But and I think a lot of times, like a man might have okay, I'll just say somebody that I wish I never met in my life. Like we had the conversation about dating and about engagements and stuff. And listen, this is the furthest person from my mind that I needed to be anywhere near regarding marriage. Okay, that was me. At that point, it could have been, before all of this happened, it could have been something like I really would have considered it. But as time went along, I realized it's not somebody I want to be with.
Right.
So, like I said, it's a broad spectrum.
It wouldn't be that broad though if communications take place. That I think that's where I'm trying to get at with y'all, like how important communication would be in this situation during this time that y'all dating. Like, cause now the reason why I said those things, because everybody's guessing. Like, okay, well, they had a conversation, but then your mind's changed. So now it's like, okay, well, I'm not really like, remember, I think Tay was talking about how people change. Mm-hmm. People change, 5 years later, I'm probably not the same person anymore. But you got to really convey that to the person that you're dating, because if you don't, you're going to get a no.
But you know what else? I think? I think sometimes conversations, like people don't like having the uncomfortable conversations.
Right.
Like people don't, especially in relationships, and especially when y'all been together for a while, but y'all also can have like some ways to go. They don't want to have the uncomfortable conversations. Like they don't want to have the conversations that you have to have in order to figure out the path that the relationship is on. And that is an issue because you're not comfortable with that person. Like,
not comfortable enough, exactly. Or you just don't want to hurt them, and I don't care who it is. The temperament of your spouse or the temperament of your person that you're in a relationship with. Mm-hmm. If you've been with them long enough, the temperament. So a lot of times you don't want to have those uncomfortable conversations because, for one, they're uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. And for two, that you're dating somebody that has a temper problem that's going to take, or that's sensitive, or that's going to take it to heart and misconstrue everything that you're saying. So, like, I literally just pull the dagger out. But I've been through a lot. I just let me know right away.
Even with that, like, when you have those uncomfortable conversations, I feel like you are afraid of realizing that the person that you thought was your Mr. or Mrs. Perfect may not be your Mr. or Mrs. Perfect. Perfect example, I've been watching Girlfriends on Netflix, and it was like one of the season when like Joan was like with Maliki Yoba. And like he was her like enchanted love, and they were so in love with each other and everything, whatever. They were so in love, right? Met each other, and she wanted to get married, of course. And She thought he was going to propose. He didn't have that on his mind. And then when he realized that's what she wanted, he was like, listen, we know we love each other. So, hey, we might as well go ahead and get married. Let's go ahead and get married or whatever. So he proposed. They're in the car having a conversation. And she's like, da-da-da. When we have kids, da-da-da. And in the midst of that conversation, she finds out he doesn't want to have kids. So for 2 episodes, she's faced and struggling with, I love this man. He is my perfect love. And chance to love. From the moment I met him, I knew I loved him. And this is who I wanted to be. He has a good job, financially stable. We go out to dinner. We do everything. Everything in the bedroom is perfect. But he does not want to have kids. So now I'm faced with, do I still marry my one true love and throw away the desire that I've always wanted of having kids? Or do I throw away my one true love and find someone who will maybe subpar to that connection that I have with him, but at least they want kids?
That's hard to say. And I know that relationships and love and life is about compromise, but there are some things that I just feel like you don't compromise on because of the resentment. That it's going to be some residual resentment. If I say no to you in front of everybody, it's going to be some resentment. It's not going to be, right away that you're going to want to talk to that person or, just like if you make this big to-do with, for somebody and they don't appreciate it. That's almost what it seems like to the person that's proposing. So, I mean, I feel like all those conversations should be had because like, I kid you not. The same thing happened in one of the TV shows that I was watching and they just could not get right because every time they had an argument, he brought that about the kids. He wanted kids. Every time they had an argument, she'll say, well, I wanted a big wedding. You didn't want a big wedding. So they compromised on things that they were not willing to agree on. At the time, they were like, okay, this is fine. But the thing about a woman's body, and I don't know if men go through this, but women, like literally a switch went off one day and I was like, oh my God, I want kids. I had been telling myself for so long, like, I don't really think I'm meant for kids. I got nieces and nephews and stuff.
So it's just like a point in your life where you just come to a realization where you say that you do want to have kids. It just comes out the blue.
Realization,
But women, I mean, it's literally, it just oh my God, I want a kid. Like I
want a family.
I want a family. Like you want someone. Like you just like one thing about a child, and I don't have kids, I don't know, but speaking as someone who doesn't have kids and who would eventually like to have kids, I just have a fear of having a child with the wrong person. That's totally
that is a serious fear.
You want that, like someone who I know I love and I know loves me, someone who I know is at the end of the day, if don't nobody else care about me, my baby cares about me. Like that's what and it's just like one day, like it's like they said it's like a maternal instinct that just like kicks in, like I want to have a baby. Like it's just like
wow.
And then when you get online and then you and like social, like you see all your friends having babies and everybody, even people who like have kids and they like, oh, one and done. Then like years now, say, oh, I wish I had another baby.
Yeah, that's exactly where I am. Like, with the whole marriage thing, like it's literally like an instinctual thing that women go through. Like, I want to get married. I already know my wedding. I've known my wedding color since I was in like 6th grade. That has like not changed. Like literally, I literally know my wedding colors. Yep. I know that I want more kids because I don't want my daughter to take care of me by herself. Like these are things. I'm a planner. So these are things that I'm like, I know if it's the wrong person, I really want to let that be known. Like I said, stab me. Don't slowly pinch at me until I bleed to death. Stab me, take it out. You know what I'm saying? Let me know what you're going through. Let me know what you're feeling, because at the end of the day, I don't want to hear nothing when we having a knockdown, drag out argument. And you tell me everything you want to know about me, or everything that you don't want to get married, or you don't want more kids. So whatever the case, I feel like that's a conversation that needs to be had before you even really introduce them to the relatives, because they might not be here long.
That's a conversation, like as someone that's out here dating, like that's one of the first conversations that I have. Like when we talking, like it's literally like on the first, like, oh, do you have kids? How many kids do you have? Are you taking care of those kids? And do you want any more kids? Like I stopped talking to somebody because he had a child and he was like he didn't want any more kids. That's a deal breaker for me, because I want a child, and I'm not gonna allow you to take that from me. Like,
don't compromise on the wrong things. Don't compromise on things that you want.
That's crazy. Like for somebody
doesn't
to
want,
like not want to have kids and they still out there dating. I guess that's an interesting concept. I mean, I never really thought about, how tough that can be when you're out there dating, and as people getting older, somebody has kids, somebody doesn't want kids, that whole factor coming into that. I never really thought about that. That's interesting, because
it's really like me personally, like and I'm not to judge anybody, but me personally, because we had so much in common, so much was good, I just kind of felt like that was kind of selfish. Like for you to, like, one of the first conversations we had, he was, "Oh, you don't have no kids?" And I was just like, "No." He's like, "How old are you?" I'm like, "I'm 30." And he was just like, "You don't have any kids?" First of all, that out the gate, you look like you're an alien. Like, I give that look like I'm an alien. Like, I had one guy, he was like, "You don't have no kids?" "Oh, you must have had an abortion." And I was just like, no,
why you just gonna jump to that? Really?
Like, listen.
Yeah, I hope you left him all the way alone.
Oh, we bet. Yes, we had like as soon as that was one of the first cars, as soon as he said that, I was just like, yeah, no, I'm good. But the dude who I was like dating, and he had a daughter, and he was just like so on the fence about it. And in my mind, if you're on the fence about it, then in actuality you don't. And it was just like, I was like, listen, do you or do you not want to have kids? At this time, we have been talking for like a year, and he was talking about like, after you done been with somebody for 2 years, you should know if you do or do not want to get married. So I was like, do you or do you not want to have kids? And he was just like, no, I don't. Like, and that was it. Like, we're friends, but no.
My daughter's been the best thing ever happened to me.
At least you found out early.
Me too.
Yeah.
Like, and I can say from a perspective, like Jay said, having babies by the right person, that goes along with marriage, because you're gonna be free to do those things. Like, literally, you're gonna be free. So having kids by the right person, just because you get married doesn't mean it's gonna last. But having kids by the right person is so vital, because you're planning that child's future for sure.
You're out there for Valentine's Day, while you're out there skeeting, beeping.
Please don't make a Gemini child.
Hold up.
Hey, my daughter's a Gemini.
I'm a Gemini.
I can see it, Jay. I can see it, Jay.
Don't try
it. I can see it.
I'm just saying, y'all out there.
My daughter's a Gemini.
Listen, y'all might end up having kids by the wrong person. Stop. I'm just saying. But whatever you got to do, just make sure that that y'all ain't out here just having babies because it's Valentine's Day.
On the 14th or the 15th, make sure them 15s get them side chicks get they
yeah, you remember the 15th? Yeah, you right.
Scrap
Forgot about that.
Well, that's a Monday, so anybody really trying to do that on a Monday?
Hey, I mean,
I can't wait to get home on Mondays. Oh, I can't wait to get to the house.
Them side chicks, they got a Monday, man. They got they got to take care of them too.
Bro, you would never try to cheat. Like, that's ridiculous. I don't understand. Let me shut up.
Speak, yo.
You get them half off chocolates, them roses.
Yes, the half off chocolates, like the after Valentine's, the day after Christmas, the day after Thanksgiving, the day after Easter. Like, why are you okay with being subpar? Like,
you a day after.
That's your afterthought. Like you're an afterthought. Like, literally,
you get a lot. You get a lot on Valentine's Day because everything is on sale.
They don't think that much of you get double, triple.
Balloons deflated.
Ain't even no helium in it. You can't even suck the helium out of the balloon and make the little funny voice. Like, that's just
don't give me nothing.
You really do that? You really do that with the balloons? You get the balloons, you just wow.
When I was in college, that's what me and my roommate used to do. We used to go to the Dollar Tree and buy balloons and just sit in the house and suck the helium out of them.
What?
And just, like,
that can kill you. That can kill your brain cells, right?
It explains a lot.
No, it can give you an aneurysm. For real. The helium can give you an aneurysm.
They ain't playing. Yeah. That's dangerous. That's
the helium can give you an aneurysm.
It's real dangerous.
And it makes your head big.
Shut up.
That might be what my issue is, Penny.
It look like a Macy's Thanksgiving float.
It's really funny. Dang, that's crazy. I'm sad now.
But I mean, but what y'all was saying, that's real though. I mean, but I mean, at the end of the day, I think in that scenario, communication is the main thing, because you should not be going into a proposal and somebody saying no to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you should.
I also feel like you, if you're gonna be with somebody for 35 years, I feel like you should revisit this conversation, because things change. Right. Yeah, and I also feel like the nature of a woman is to try to change the minds of people, or try to persuade, or try to, contort how he feels, and try to build him up, or whatever the case is. But if he tells you from the initial conversation that I don't want more kids, I would suggest to any woman that does want kids, please don't waste your time, because that might be something. And not to mention, a lot of these dads, whether they deadbeats or not, have had experiences with their child's mother, or a lot of these women have had experiences with these, fathers, and they don't want no more kids. Like, I could see myself, if I wasn't to the point where, like, I know that I want more children, I want my legacy to be fulfilled, I want a son, I want, my daughter to have, I want a husband, I want to be married sooner than later. You know what I'm saying? I know this is something that I want. So I'm definitely not going to hear anybody. I'm not going to waste any more time. I'm 33 years old. You know what I'm saying? Like, I literally, on my birthday, was like, dang, I need to hurry up. Because my patience is thin.
Facts.
Like, my patience is thin. I don't have the patience for a lot of things.
Like, especially like every time I go get my my annually, like my doctor, like ever since I turned like 30, she was like, so Miss Harvin, have we given any thoughts to kids? Because the older you kids, the chances of, and I'm just like, all right. So when I was 30, I wasn't trying to hear, but like the older I'm getting, I'm just like,
go buy some. They got them on sale. They come with.
I would like to, feel it. I would like to.
Oh no, they come in a jar.
Man, sir, I almost
just add water.
Sir. No. Okay, if that's how you think it is, okay, whatever. If that's how you,
that sound like some old incubate. That's like some tadpole.
That's what it is.
But I did say that I was going to give myself.
You gonna get you a turkey baster?
Yeah, and I'm gonna if I'm giving myself to a certain age, and if I don't want one, I'm gonna get artificially inseminated.
That, I mean, that listen. Or like I said, let's go buy you one, man.
Bro,
I got one upstairs.
I mean, I feel like I want her to do whatever she, you know what I'm saying? I feel like there is somebody out there for everybody.
This is true.
I really do. I also feel like sometimes we rush the thought, and we rush God and be
let's talk about this though.